No, I just adjusted it a little.
Right.
What's up, guys?
What
Oh,
is up, everybody?
it's Monday already, huh?
Oh my gosh, it is Monday.
Yep.
That is great. So it's funny, Will. While everybody's getting ready to come in here, I check my weather all the time and look what Sacramento's doing to see if how we're comparing. And I'm a little bit of a child because sometimes I want to go, oh, look at my temperature. It's hotter here than yours, or something like that, which is
I know.
so
It was it
dumb.
was it was pleasant today. I mean, it dropped. It was
Ooh,
84. And we
man.
were up in the high 90s over the weekend.
Right now it's 8 o'clock p.m. where I am, and the heat index is 95, and it's the real temperature is 90, which is gross.
Yeah. We
Um,
I think Friday, Saturday, we were in the hundreds, close to the hundreds. So
wow.
we
What's
were
up, Danny McManus? How are you?
Hey,
Good to
what's up,
see
Danny?
you.
Good to see you every Monday.
Yep.
Thanks for taking the time
Yep.
to come out.
You guys know the drill by now, but if you can, go ahead and click that link in the post that says to give StreamYard permission to see your name. That would really help a lot. So just so we know who you are. And as you're getting in here, also jump into the chat. Tell us where you're watching from and what your weather's like today. If it's really nice, I don't want to hear it. I only want to hear gross, like high temperatures. So I don't want to feel guilty or, jealous or anything. Uh, Chicago, tornado warnings all around. Sharon, that's very much like Oklahoma. We're pretty much tornadoes all the time. Sharon, are you so used to it? Does it freak you out at all, or are you kind of just used to tornado warnings? What's it like there? I know for us, it's tornado warnings, and when all the guys go out into the street and meet our neighbors, when we're supposed to be inside, because we're dumb. That's why men live shorter lives than women. I'm quite sure.
Oh yeah,
Some
we
stuff like that.
we don't we just put caution to the wind. We just
The
like, well,
Darwin
this takes
Award.
me
Yeah.
away, takes me away.
Oh, Julie, major winds and rainstorms in Salt Lake. Oh, Carol,
Oh,
99
hey,
plus in Houston. Yikes.
perfect. Thanks, Carol. That makes us feel better.
It does. It does. That's
We were
great.
high of 84 today here in Sacramento,
Oh, that's really
so
great.
not too bad. I can deal with it. Not ideal. I would rather be probably where Rebecca is in Santa Cruz. That's probably 73 high, which is always really nice.
I'm going to find that link so people can use it. I'll find it real quick. I believe it's.
Well, Carla had 70s in Pennsylvania.
Ooh.
Ugh. Danny from Cairo, 97. Heat index over 100 in Georgia.
Ooh. Hey, if you guys need to give StreamYard permission to see your name, that would be great. Just go to streamyard.com, StreamYard.com/Facebook. And there's just a big blue button. You just click it and you're good to go. So
Uh,
streamyard.com/Facebook.
Christy or Crystal, she said, "Hi guys." Her weather's the same as mine. She's only 15 minutes from me. I think she's right down the block from my warehouse, practically.
Look at Christy Borman, 55 degrees.
Yeah.
Oh, yikes. 101 in Augusta, Georgia. Angie, wow. Hey, Laura, SoCal, beautiful weather in the 70s. That's great. Awesome.
Yeah. Right now, it looks like Georgia is making us all feel better about our weather.
Yes.
Everyone from Georgia is like, "Oh, it's so hot."
And Houston, right? Yeah.
Texas and Georgia.
Oh, man. Hey, everybody, we're gonna get started here in about maybe 2 minutes at the most. We're just gonna say hi to everybody as they're coming in, and then we will jump into our content here. Today, we're going to do two things. We're going to start out this episode with me interviewing Will. And also, I'd love you guys to give us some questions for Will in the chat. What is something you want to know about Will? Nothing's off limits. That's not true at all. Some things are definitely off limits. But ask questions about Will here in the chat, and I'll see if I can get to them. And in the second half of today's show, we're going to talk to Julie, and she's one of our instructors at the upcoming conference. You're going to really love to get to know Julie Ward. She's great. I know Julie can see me. She can hear me too. Hi, Julie. Yep. See, I see you. Nobody else can see you, but I see you. But she's going to come on here in about 20 minutes or so, and that'll be fun as well.
Are you allowed to plead the fifth in a StreamYard interview, or is that just reserved for court?
You can just fake a bad internet connection.
There you go. I'll just pretend I froze. Like,
Yeah, right, exactly like that. Yep. Perfect.
someone asked, "What room am I in?" It looks like a dollhouse in the back. I am in my daughter's room. It used to be our guest room, and she turned 10, and we promised that she could have her own room. So we're in the process of switching it out. So this is my oldest daughter's room.
And I tell you, I bet you in the next few weeks, Will's going to have some sweet setup here or somewhere, right? You're going to set up in your new
In the
space.
warehouse.
Yep.
Yeah, at the warehouse. I was actually going to be there today. I had my car worked on, so I had to pick it up from the dealership, and it's close to home. So I just
Cool.
decided to do it here from home again one more time. But my daughter's like, "You're using my room and my desk." So this is her room right now and the studio.
Cool. Well, let's
Yeah.
get started for everybody. Everybody, welcome. Thanks for coming. If this is your first time with us, we do this every Monday at this same time. In fact, I'm going to act like I'm just going to pitch this over to Will to tell the broadcast times because I'm terrible at times. So if you're in California right now, it is what time?
6:07 p.m.
Yep. So 6 p.m. And in Mountain Time, Julie, it's 7 p.m. in Central Standard Time where I'm at. It's 8 o'clock. And then we got the East Coast. Yeah, I believe it's 9 o'clock there. I know Casey Cruz, if he's here, he was complaining about that being after his bedtime. So sorry about that, young man. But
Yeah.
we do this every week. Yep. Victor says it's happy hour. That's right.
Every hour is happy hour for Victor.
That's right. So, hey, Kim, hello in Central. I appreciate
And she's
you.
in Florida. So there's part of Florida that's in Central,
Oh,
and
there's
there's
a
parts
panhandle,
of
right?
Florida
Yep.
that are on the east. So
Yep. So we do this every Monday, and we spend the first half hour just talking about some things we think you guys would appreciate, whether it be about leadership or life. Or today we're going to be interviewing Will to find out more about him. And then the second half of today, we're going to interview our friend Julie Ward, which will be great. And every other week, we're going to have special instructors on as well. So it'll be awesome. So Will, you ready?
yeah, and none of these questions have been asked to me ahead
Nope.
of time, and the questions that you guys might ask. So fire away.
All right. So give me some questions for Will in the chat, and I'll keep track of those as we go. So let's start with the softball. For some people who don't know Will very well, give us like the 2-minute version of how you got into lasers. What did you start with, and when did you start supplying blanks? Try to do that in about 2 minutes.
Perfect. So I started with my Glowforge, with the Glowforge first, about almost, I'm thinking now, we're already in 2020, about 3 years ago.
Okay.
Got my first Glowforge, seeing the ads. I was a pastry chef before I got into lasers, and I used to do chocolate sculptures and wedding cakes and plated desserts. And the ad was amazing because I can cut chocolate pieces out. So I thought, hey, it'll save me a lot of time. I can do some really intricate work cutting chocolate.
Right in your kitchen.
Yeah, right in the middle. I didn't even have to vent it. It just, you cut right in the middle. And debated on getting it for a while, and finally took the jump, got it. Thought, I'm going to go temper some chocolate. I'm going to go cut some chocolate. But first, I'm going to go cut the gift of good measure. I'm going to cut some of these projects for things that my wife wanted around the house. And then as I go through the groups, it's like, once you cut anything, don't put any food in there. I was like, all right, change of plans. I'll just play around with this laser. It was fun. It was amazing to play with. It was with no type of design or laser experience. I just had fun playing with it, jumping into groups, buying files, trying a little bit of everything, and just kind of started selling locally. Started realizing my time was valuable, and I was not making any money selling items that took me 2 days to make.
Yep.
And I said, I need to pivot my business, and I wanted to make it a little side hustle. So I thought which way I could go, and realtors were a big one for me. And I reached out to a ton of realtors and said, hey, I'm going to market just to realtors, cutting boards for closing gifts. And it just kind of blew up. I went to realtor office after realtor office, sharing samples, talking to them about how this would benefit them as far as, they would be able to give a personalized gift that people would love for the same cost of what they were already giving, a basket with crackers and cheese or whatever. And it grew. Then I decided, I was shopping for boards like crazy. Every day I was going to places to try to find boards, and I said, well, I'll go out and I'll buy some boards overseas. Friends wanted to chip in. We were going to do some buy-ins, and we started a group with 10 of us about 14 months ago.
Yep.
14 months ago, and we said, well, we'll just do a couple buy-ins. And they said, well, I know other people who might be interested in buying stuff. So can we invite some friends of friends? And we started inviting people, and it kind of got out there that, oh, Will's going to start carrying blanks, which wasn't the plan. I was going to just do cutting boards for a few people. And then I said, you know what? Okay, I'll sell cutting boards. It was a market that nobody was selling blanks in. Very few were selling boards because of, now I know the amount of work to sell cutting boards.
Yeah.
Blanks. And it grew and more people joined, and cutting boards were taking forever to get here. And they're like, well, you should carry this. You should carry that. Carry this. And I started carrying a couple little things here and there, and it just blew up. And I mean, 14 months later, I'm here with, I think 50 people away from 30,000 in my group.
Great. So approximately how many products do you currently sell?
I have around 140 SKUs.
That's a lot. That's great.
Yeah. So it's kind of grown. We're looking to grow even more now that I have the space. I was very limited in the amounts of that I could carry.
We saw your garage, man.
Yeah, it was nuts. I mean, I was always on the brink of something falling on me and just taking me out. So
well, and you told me that there were several times where you'd have to cut the side of a box out because it's under a stack.
Yeah, all the time. I used to keep things on my driveway and cover it with the tarp if the weather was bad, because I didn't have. I had stuff in my master bedroom. I had stuff in my foyer. I had living room, dining room, bathrooms, guest rooms. So it was everywhere.
That's great. And yet you still did still do a great job getting things out.
Yeah, Bezos has spoiled all of us, right? They expected to get it quick, and the quicker I can get it out, it was twofold. I like to take care of my customers and get it quick. Yeah. But also I needed the space for more things to come in. So the quicker I could get it out, the more space I had.
I'll tell you real quick. We were camping this weekend, which was sort of great, but it's super hot. And I ordered something online from my phone, and I was really irritated that it wasn't going to show up to the campground the next day. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I mean, I order stuff on vacation. They send it to the hotel.
Yeah. It's great. So hey, Crystal, I see your question. I'm definitely going to bring that up to him in just a few minutes. And if you guys have any questions for Will, give me some in the chat there. So here's the next question for you. Should be pretty easy. What do you enjoy most about what you do every day? What is something that really brings you the most joy?
The people. That's hands down easiest. The relationships I built. Nothing can replace that. I can replace the money from blanks. Yeah. I can start another business tomorrow. But one thing that I will never be able to replace are the relationships that I've built within this community. Some of my closest friends, some of the people I look up to the most, I've met through the groups. And I probably talk and hang out with more people from the groups than I do of anyone that I went to high school or college or anything with. So
I agree with that.
Which is quite a while ago for high school and college.
Yes. So how about the opposite side of that? What is something you consider one of your biggest challenges right now?
I think my biggest challenge is balance.
Yeah.
Finding balance, right? I work a lot. I know we talk about margins and we talk about finding balance, and we talk about how we kind of hang our hat on working hard. But sometimes, it's like I used to like beat my chest, like, I'll outwork everybody. Yeah. But I'm not, working smarter. I'm just working harder. Yeah. And I realize that at some point you'll hit a plateau and it's just going to come crashing down. So that's my biggest struggle.
Okay. I agree with that one. I have the same thing. All right. Here's a fun one. Who's your favorite superhero and why?
Favorite superhero? Oh, that's a tough one.
One of your favorites. You don't have to pick. You don't have to say the favorite.
Okay. Then I would go with Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing Duck.
Yeah, Darkwing Duck. It's one that I grew up with. I didn't watch a lot of the comic book type heroes. I watched a lot of like Darkwing Duck. I watched a lot of Looney Tunes. It was a lot of fun for me. So that was always my favorite one.
I thought you were going to say Hong Kong Phooey. I don't know if you're old enough to remember.
Any of the duck characters are always my favorite because they're kind of short-tempered, like Donald, like me. Very short-tempered. I've gotten better over the years, but they're more a reflection of me. Scrooge, like all my blanks money I keep in one room and I just swim in it. every night. So
That's
that's
great.
one secret that people don't know. I just
That,
hoard it.
that's one of the times when you should freeze on screen right now. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So on that note, on the superhero note, if you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?
Right now in this business, I would freeze time.
Right.
Get my
Or clone yourself. Either one.
No, I've seen what's that movie with Michael Keaton?
Simplicity.
Yeah, they just get worse and worse,
They
right?
do.
And I'm already starting at a below par level. It's not going to take long to get to the point where this business will go under really quickly. So yeah, I would never want to clone myself. I want to hire people who are better than me.
You remember his like fourth clone? He would just walk around going, "Hello, Steve."
Yeah, I'm pretty much right above that now. So it wouldn't take 4 clones to get to that point. So I think I would freeze time.
Yep.
I'd
Yep.
get a lot done, and then
Yep.
I can just rest.
That's good. So speaking of kind of superheroes in a way, tell us about somebody in your life that you greatly admire. Maybe somebody that's kind of been a superhero to you, or just somebody that you really admire in life.
I think it really comes down to my parents.
Yeah.
I grew up pretty tough with my parents. We grew up really poor. We grew up in a really poor neighborhood. We struggled. We struggled hard. They struggled hard.
Hmm.
But one thing they always did was continue to fight. Right? They always had that fighting spirit. They always had that. No matter how bad things got, we're going to make it better.
Yeah.
And they always instilled that in us. It was, don't worry about your surroundings. Don't worry about all the excuses that you could come up with. You control what you can do. So, and they kind of turned their life around. They're my heroes.
That's great.
So,
Are they still with us? Are they still around?
yeah, yeah.
That's
My mom lives with me. They divorced when I was about 8,
Yep.
so that was a challenge growing up. But yeah, my mom lives with me. My dad lives in San Francisco, so I still see them.
That's
I
great.
see my dad regularly, so we talk almost every couple days.
That's great. Let me bring in Crystal's question. She says, in fact, I'll just put it on the screen for everybody. I know you scaled your business up pretty quickly. What advice would you give to fellow business owners who want to scale up?
One, focus on customer service, right? Take care of your customers; they'll take care of you. Their word of mouth advertising is more powerful than anything else I could ever do. I could post all the ads, all the sales. None of that will compare to the people who will say, "Hey, use Will; he's amazing."
Yeah.
So that's one. I think another thing, if you want to scale your business, you have to have a business that is scalable. So products that are scalable. When we're talking about us in the crafting world, if you have products that just take too long to make or don't make enough profit, you really can't scale. You're just kind of paying yourself for your time. So streamlining what you do,
Good.
determining what gets the best return on investment, and lean into your strengths and bring people along with you who help cover where your weaknesses are.
I'm gonna share a thought here in just a second. I'm typing it out.
And I think, yeah, I think that's a lot of it is, you know, um, balancing yourself, right? So that when you are focusing, like you
Yeah.
said, we've said many times, is working on your business, not just in your business, right? So,
Yes. On it, not in it. Right.
yeah.
Yep. Well, you made me think of something that I know really represents you really well because you've talked about the importance of family, the importance of balance, those kind of things. A phrase that really came to me several years ago is this one. I just want to share it. Take risks for the things you love, not with the things you love. I'll take risks for my family, but I'm not going to risk my family.
Definitely.
You know, I'll take risks to benefit them, but not put them on the line themselves. So as you guys are thinking about things, be willing to take some risks. I mean, talk to us about risks a little bit. I know you've got a lot of thoughts on risks, but talk to us about how important you think taking risks are. What are some maybe some times when you should take risks, some time when you shouldn't? What are your thoughts about taking risks as a business owner?
I mean, for me, I don't think there is really a wrong time to take a risk, right? I have the mentality is I'm going to if I'm going to take that risk with the possibility of failing, but I'm not going to let those failures dictate who I am or what my business is about. I'm going
Mm.
to learn from them. So it gives me the opportunity to say, hey, I have tried that and it worked, or I
Yep.
have tried it, it didn't work, and I've made changes to make it work. Versus what if I did this, or what if I don't like to have the what ifs. I'm just going to go full bore,
Yeah.
and I'm going to roll with it. I mean, I'm a risk taker because I'm not afraid to fail,
Yeah.
because those all those failures have made me, or any of our successful businesses, is what made our businesses successful, because
Yeah.
we've gone through that. We have those experiences. We can share those experiences, just in anything, in my marriage, in my life, in my relationships, in my business. All of those things are part of it. You know,
Yeah.
there are higher risks, but also with higher risk comes higher reward.
Mhm.
So it's your tolerance level too. You
Yep.
know, some people are like, hey, I'll take a risk to this point. Others are like, I'm just going to go for it, and I might fall flat on my face, but it doesn't matter how many times you fall up. It matters how many times you get back up.
Yep. Yeah. I
So
saw Gary Vee. I think it was today or yesterday. He was talking about being a doer and not a thinker. And I don't, of course, he wasn't saying don't think. That's not obviously not what he's saying. But sometimes we can get kind of frozen on the paralysis of analysis, right?
yep.
And I know I'm guilty of that at times. I do a lot of analysis. I can make a decision pretty quickly, but sometimes I do get frozen. And so
Oh
that's
yeah,
something
all the
we all
time.
got to yeah, we got to look out for.
Yeah, and I remember a quote that I read somewhere, and I wrote it down, and it was like, "Failure is the tuition we pay for future success."
Yes. Oh, it's so good.
So,
So say that
you
again
know,
for everybody. For somebody in the
uh,
back row.
failure is the tuition we pay for future success.
So
So,
good.
you
That's
know,
so good.
I get stuck on paralysis by analysis a lot of times too.
Yep.
I'm like, well, should I do this? Should I do this? And I've trained myself to say, you know what, go for it, and you know, if it
Yeah.
works, if it works. If not, on to the next.
I see both Robert and Christy Borman on here. Congratulations, Robert, for winning your free ticket to the conference. For those of you guys who don't know, starting last week, we are doing, in fact, we're going to do a spinning wheel here in a little bit and give away another ticket. And the only people that are eligible to win these tickets are people that have already bought one. And so we've got all these people's name on a wheel. And last week, Robert won. And I see him here in the chat. You are so welcome. We're looking forward to meeting you guys in person. And Christy asked a question I'm just going to pitch to you also. And you may have to expand on this a little bit, but how hard was it to decide to go full bore and leave your baking business? Talk about that transition a little bit.
Yeah, well, one was COVID helped make that decision for me,
Hmm.
because I had my own cafe, and I was in an office building. I took care of a lot of the corporate orders, and they came downstairs to the cafeteria. And eventually, rent started going up a lot higher, and most of my money was from catering. So I
Hmm.
decided I'm just going to go catering full time. I'm going to close the cafe. Catering is the way to go. I had a commercial kitchen because I'm the chef for my church, and I do all the church events. I was able to use their kitchen for all my catering events. So I had a built-in catering kitchen, which was nice. And I was doing all corporate breakfasts, corporate lunches. And then COVID came, and no offices were ordering. Most everyone was remote working. Even when things started to open back up, it was no, we don't want outside food. People are
Hmm.
responsible. We've closed break rooms, things like that. So it kind of made me go full time into the laser business. And even at that point, it wasn't full time into the laser business. I was a stay at home dad of five. I was running my church youth group, and this was a side gig. And then as the blanks slowly grew, then I decided to really see where this business can go and how we can scale it. My wife and I decided that it would be best for her to leave her teaching job to help at home, so that I could really grow this business. So that's been going for a good week and a half now.
That's awesome.
I'm ready to scale. It's time. Yeah, tired of being small like this.
Yeah. So we've got less than 5 minutes before we bring on the wonderful and amazing Julie. So I got two more questions for you, real quick. I feel like this is right down your alley again, but if you could describe your perfect day, what are some things that would happen during that day?
All right. I'd wake up.
That's usually a
Yeah,
great start.
that's the start. If you're on the right side of the dirt, you're doing well.
Yeah.
Um, I wake up, I pray, I read the Bible, I go to Starbucks, get my coffee,
Yeah.
come home, have some breakfast with my kids. Um, my ideal day would have no work involved. Honestly, it would be hanging out with my kids, hanging out with my wife, maybe thinking of things to do with my business,
Right.
working on it, not actually in it. I would never want to stuff a box,
Right.
um, but maybe implementing a new program or trying something that I've never done before, and then just hanging out with my family. I
Yeah.
think that would be and good food, a steak,
Oh,
always a steak.
and one that you didn't cook yourself?
No, I have to cook it myself because I
Okay.
want to make sure it's done right.
All right. Well, unless somebody else has another question, I will end with this one. This is kind of just future thinking a little bit. Fast forward 1 year from today. What would you like to see happening with your business that isn't happening right now? What's something different that you'd like to see?
I want to bring more of the teaching aspect of what I do, right? I enjoy sharing it within the groups.
Yeah.
I enjoy selling the blanks, but I really enjoy helping others. I enjoy seeing other people grow. I like sharing what I've learned over the years from other people, experiences that I've experienced, and share that with others.
That's great.
I think that's the big thing. I think that's the way to go. That's my passion. I would give up all of this if I could teach lasers or
Yeah.
business things like that full time. That would
I
definitely.
think we're cut from the same cloth in that regard. We both love to teach. We love to see people succeed. That's a huge deal. Well, tell you what, you want
One
to bring it?
question here, real quick.
Yeah,
There's
please.
Terry asked if you have time. Curious to know if will share his best seller of blanks.
Yeah.
I wish I had some in front of me, but cutting boards. Cutting boards are my biggest seller. It's because not as many people carry them, and they take up a lot of space, and they're not the highest margin item, but people want them. They want a place to get consistent boards when they are running their business, and they don't want to do like me and run around to 25 different stores. So that's why I try to carry quite a few of what I have. So if you sell it to somebody and they like it, and you want to have results that can be replicated by getting the same boards all the time for your realtors or businesses, that's what my goal is, to not run out for you guys. So.
Love it. That's great. And of course, you want to have your Canadian business hopping also. I see that Jennifer said.
Yes, I've been working diligently to try to figure the whole getting blanks to Canada, because right now just shipping is just so ridiculous, and we're working on it. And there's a couple people that we're working with. It's just the logistic part of it that I want to do it right. I don't want to roll it out and then be like, oh, we can't sell to Canada anymore. So
Right. Right.
um, yeah, but we're
Awesome.
getting there.
All right, Julie, I'm going to give you about 3 seconds to straighten up, put the beer down, get everything out of the shot. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's bring on our next guest, Julie Ward. Everybody give Julie a big hand.
Hi.
What's up, Julie?
Nothing much. Just
Can you
enjoying
hear us?
everything. What?
Can you hear us?
What was that?
Exactly. We were having some technical difficulties earlier, so we worked it out.
Yes, we
This
did.
technology stuff is amazing.
Yeah.
And Julie,
we're
I'm not going
vegan
to call
sometimes.
anybody Josh. I'm not calling anybody Josh, so don't even try to pull my leg on that one.
Okay, I won't.
All right. Well, tell you what, Julie, introduce yourself a little bit. Let everybody know who you are and kind of just what you do nowadays. Tell them a little bit about your website and that kind of thing. And we'll just cut in with some questions. But give us about a minute and a half, 2 minutes of who Julie is and what you do.
Okay, I'm Julie Ward with Julie Did It Studios, and I focus on laser ready designs. I kind of go the realm of farmhouse. I love farm, rustic, chippy wood. And I say this, if farmhouse is wrong, I don't want to be right. I know it's going to be a trend that comes and goes, but for me, it's a staple. I've been in business for about not quite 2 years. It'll be 2 years in August. And I have a Facebook group, which is Julie Did It Studios, a laser community, where I share like my file releases. I do lots of paint tutorials there. And then I also have a subscription group for people who to get a cluster of files every single month, and then discounts on my website, which is right there,
Yep.
juliestudios.com. And I love to paint. I've always loved to paint and be artsy. My husband's the one that got me into the laser. If you joined me, what was it, last month, Mark? When did we talk? You'll know that I swore up and down I would never touch that thing. Ever, never, ever. Famous last words. Now he has his own laser out in the garage, and I just use my Glowforge right there.
Yes.
Because it's so easy. It's so plug and play. And you don't have to vent it, anything. It keeps the room nice and clean. No smell, no noise, just as the commercial show.
Right. Right next to your Cuisinart on the counter there.
Right next to the window, because I do vent it.
Right. Right.
I don't need any messages telling me.
For anybody who's new, that was a joke. Yeah. Right. That's great. That's awesome. Well, if you guys have not checked out her work, you definitely need to. It's really great. Definitely consider her subscription group. She gives a lot of value, so you will not be disappointed there. Julie's going to be one of our instructors at our conference. Will, why don't you lead into some questions kind of to help people get to know her and what they might be able to expect at the conference?
Yeah, definitely. Welcome. Thank you for joining us, Julie. We love having you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so it was the first time I've got to do this on a Zoom with you. We've always done, I met you live, so it was
right. And chit-chat Messenger and stuff.
Yeah, and we've talked on the phone quite a bit, so it's kind of nice to have you on. We appreciate it. We're really excited to have you at the conference. People, it's one thing we get a lot is, painting techniques and how to do them, and people get intimidated by it. So,
right.
What are some of the questions that you get, from your members or just in the community on techniques that a lot of people really want to know about? Like, what are your top two?
Oh, for sure, without a doubt, it's my rustic paint. So you kind of do a distressed look, so it looks like old chippy paint that's sitting around in your barn, or the galvanized paint technique using a very expensive tool that's super hard to get. And I'm not even going to tell you where to get it because it's just that difficult. Kidding. It comes in all your boxes from Amazon. It's literally bubble wrap. It's the easiest thing. Oh, nice. And some people use, grocery sacks or whatnot, but I like the look that the bubble wrap gives. So those are my two most requested technique tutorials, is the distressed wood and the galvanized metal.
Oh, nice. So is that something that we can expect that they would probably touch on at the conference?
Absolutely. If y'all want to learn, I am more than happy to teach you.
That's great. Yeah, because that's painting is not my thing. I'll be in those classes.
You can. I will make you a painter. Mark my words.
Yes. Yeah.
Or Ross will be jealous of you.
Or as I grow the business, the plan is my wife will be doing a lot of this as well with me. So I think I'll just outsource to my wife and send her to your class.
Perfect. Send her over. We'll have fun.
She'll be there for sure. And she didn't get a free ticket either, so she's buying a ticket.
Yeah, nice. Well, hopefully she wins, right?
No, she's not eligible. I think there's a disclaimer on there about family members not eligible for free tickets. So
well, you drive a hard bargain.
Yeah. It has to be fair. Yeah. So that's cool. Yeah, we're excited. I think people will love the ability to do, to learn those techniques and expand what they're doing already.
Right.
Ooh, someone commented they love the flag. I think the flag behind you.
Yeah, there's this flag, but then I just released I started a collection of designs made with spindles. And one of them, I did a Christmas tree because so many people are doing Christmas in July. And then I also did a flag, and then I've got some more fun ones coming. So it looks like stair spindles, but obviously you cut them and score them on the laser. Well, hi, Lynn. Thank you. I can't guarantee I get it right every time. I do make mistakes and I own up to it, but I do my best.
That's great. And, since you're also in me and Will's groups as well, that doesn't hurt our feelings in the least bit. Not even a little. No, we totally love that you guys love Julie. She's absolutely worth it for sure.
Thank you.
Awesome. You're
We're
welcome.
going to need to see in some of your videos. I think the trend now is to start to add the bloopers to it. So
Oh my word. Well,
we're
watch
gonna
my lives. The whole thing is one giant blooper. I can't tell you how many times I'm just, oops. I mean, I don't edit. You guys are good. You take the time to edit. I'm just like, it is what it is. Here's my live. If I make a mistake, we'll learn together and don't repeat me. Just omit that part.
Great. I
That's
think
great.
we have a question. We have a question here from Abby. What would be your biggest piece of advice for someone who wants to start selling their files?
To start selling files, for one, I would and probably have file testers just so that way you can have an outside eyes to look and kind of critique your files because I'm kind of an OCD when it comes to my files, and I make sure they're like really clean because I want a nice, clean, smooth cut. And so if you get a third party to cut it, they might be able to tell you whatever difficulties they had or areas that might need to be fixed. But other than that, I would just say experiment, try different things. I always find best to make designs that I myself love.
Yeah.
Because really, I mean, you have to know who your market is.
Yeah.
And really, I'm my market, a laser owner, farmhouse loving person. And
Yeah.
so it's almost like the files that I really like the most or seems to be the ones that connect with my people, as opposed to trying to make files that I think that they would like. And then it's not good. So just enjoy making them for yourself and posting in the groups, and then allow people to ask for them.
Yeah.
And you'll kind of get a feeling for what and who is watching you and what they're looking for.
That's great advice. That really is.
I always cut all my files because I layer. I love layering, and working on a flat screen is so different than cutting, because what you might think will fit nice and flush is suddenly teetering because it doesn't line up exactly. So I always, even if I don't have a chance to get it painted, I always at least cut it to make sure everything lines up properly.
Yeah. That's great advice. Great
Oh, yeah.
advice. Abby, ask more questions if you have more. We'll all be happy to try to help if we can, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, not as a file seller because I don't sell files, but as a file buyer, one thing I look for is just ease of use of the file. Right,
Yeah.
things are nice instructions. Really make it as foolproof as possible for the buyer. The more complicated you make it without clear instructions, one, you're going to get a ton of messages.
Right.
You get a ton of frustration from people. So the simpler you make it, the easier you explain everything to someone like myself, the happier I'll be. And you build that trust, and I only buy files from people I trust that have given me great files over the years. So as a seller, that's what I would think. As a buyer, that's what I look for. So.
Right. And I do write instructions for each. Some people don't read it and they ask, and I'm more than happy to answer. But there is a PDF instruction to tell you what settings, not necessarily like power and speed and stuff. That's so different from machine to machine. But it would say like score, cut, engrave, optional score or ignore, that kind of a thing. And then just kind of walk you through, shows a picture of the file so you can see what lines are turquoise, what lines are red, so I do. And it does take time. You don't really, and it's the most boring part. It's the tedious things that really get you. It's like, no, I just want to make things, paint it, and move on. I don't want to have to write all the instructions and take all the photos.
So just you and me have a conversation for just a second. Everybody else can listen. I mean, think about, I know for me, we try to finish at least 2 designs a week, which for us is kind of hard because we got a lot of other things going on.
Right.
But when I finish the design, I'm not even close to finished, because then I've got to arrange it on the page in a way that makes sense. We've got to go finish, go and photograph it, perhaps shoot some videos. Victor says instructions take forever. They totally do.
They do, and they're so boring to make. As a creative, I mean, all
Right.
you guys are creatives with me. Those are the most mind-numbing things to have to make.
I mean, I've kind of done it to myself, but I probably have a minimum of 3 to 6 hours after the design is done, because then I'm shooting videos and making
Mhm.
instructions. And a lot of times I think, oh my gosh, this is great. I'm finally done. Then I realize, no, I'm not.
I still have and then you have to arrange them in to
Oh,
zip them all
yeah.
together, and
Yeah.
it
And
is.
honestly, we love, we all love what we do.
We do.
But sometimes the creative juices are flowing, and sometimes those parts don't push the buttons as much, right?
Right, right. They don't fulfill you at the end of the day, as opposed to looking at something you've brought to life.
Yeah.
Nobody really sees that, all of the files and photos all
Right.
zipped together and go, now that's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
You guys make it look easy, right?
Well, thank you.
They look at it just like with the great file sellers out there. You look at it like, wow, this one cuts perfectly, perfect instructions. This is perfect, But
Yep.
they like you said, they don't know the amount of work that goes behind the
Mm-mm.
scenes to get it there. So
Yeah.
take the time to do those things right first, and
Right.
Abby's got a good question, but I want to ask you a question before that. Julie, have you ever had a design that you made and then you realized this is going to create more questions than it's worth? I can't use this.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
I think I talked to you about that 4th of July, the
Yeah.
Land That I Love map, where I'm like, people
Nope.
will make a voodoo doll out of me and stuff me full of pins if I ever sold that. And I get people, I'm not gonna lie, I watch your videos on Kerf
Yep.
over this girl's head.
You can
I
do it.
have people who want me to do like bread box, designs and utensil holders. Is like, nope, I am not going to sit here and worry about slots and fitting. That's Mark. If you want a bread box design, go to this guy right here.
That's great. Well, you do things I don't know how to do, so it goes both ways.
Yeah.
Let's pick up this question that Abby has. What's the biggest challenge selling your designs, and what mistakes did you make that you learned the most from? Ooh. Woo.
The biggest challenge, it's just getting them in front of people's eyeballs. I mean, all of Facebook's algorithms and gobbledygook, oh my word, it's just crazy. So it's getting it seen to be real, to be absolutely real, without feeling like you're on an infomercial on every channel clicking, being like, oh my gosh, it's this girl again. Oh my word.
Right.
Yeah, feeling spammy, right? Like,
yeah, right. I'm
I'm
not a salesperson. I'm the worst salesperson. I just want to be like, look at how pretty. Don't you want it?
Right.
This is when you can get it. And then I never get, and then I like put the file to the side and move on. And so some people are like, I never even saw that. It's like, really? Because I felt like I was like shoving it down everybody's throat. So I just kind of moved on.
Yep. I'll give you the analogy I've used before, but it totally works. I used to work at a church, right? And we would have 4 services a week. And so, of course, and 3 of them were the same service 3 times in a row. And so as passionate as we are about what we do, we were still doing the same service 3 times in a row. And then we do announcements, and we give the same announcements Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday 1, Sunday 2, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday 1, Sunday. And we thought, oh my gosh, people are so sick of this. But we realized that the average person comes to church about 1 to 2 times a month. And so after we said it 8 times, they're hearing it for the first time. And that is kind of true about the internet too, right?
Right.
That when you say something, somebody may not have seen it until you said it 6 or 7 times, and they haven't seen it 6 or 7 times. They've seen it once. So we got to remind ourselves of that. Occasionally there's someone who's there for all the church services.
Right.
But most people aren't. Right. So I would just encourage myself, try to push past that. A couple of good questions here. By the way, I got to put this up because, hey, why not?
Oh, well, whoever you are, Facebook user, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't see your name, but that means a lot.
Here's a good one. Julie, do you draw everything yourself for your files? I want to start making, but I'm afraid the slightest little likeness might be considered copying from who knows where. That's a great concern. It's legit.
Yeah. It is. And I can't tell you how many times I'll be working on a design which I think is like super unique. And then somebody else posts something around the same
Yeah.
time, similar thing. And I'm like, drats.
Yeah.
And I'll either shelf it for months down the road so it doesn't look like, it's a vicious cycle to worry about all the time. And it's true. So for the most part, yes, I do draw like my intricate, like my cartoony characters and whatnot. But so many things are literally shapes.
Yeah.
Like when I make flowers, I know this sounds weird, but I just, make node, and then I drag my nodes only because the time, for one, I don't know how to use Procreate. I have like 2 courses that I have signed up for, but I don't have the time to invest in it. So I do the old school, sketch it on paper, take a picture of it, bring it into,
Yeah.
and that takes a long time. And so to get a nice, clean, single line cut, a lot of times I just do nodes.
Right. Hey, that's okay. It works. It clearly works for you.
Yeah, I need
But I
to
will say,
look into that one laptop thing that you were telling me about where
yeah.
I forgot. I wrote down it somewhere and now I can't remember where I put it, but that would probably be a
I'll
huge.
tell you, since nobody else is here but the 3 of us.
Good, yes.
Yeah, I'll tell you that people are constantly amazed at the tools I don't know how to use. In fact, Victor, I know you're out there, buddy. He said at the conference he's going to teach that there's only 5 tools you need in Illustrator. I am excited because I think I know about 3. So I'm going to add 2. That'll be great.
Right.
But people are amazed for all of us. I bet you you've already kind of said there's things you're not good at. There's things I'm not good at. And I would tell everybody over here who's selling products, who wants to sell files, don't worry about what you're not good at. Just lean into the things that you are.
Right.
I know Will has said that in some version many times.
Oh
right?
yeah, well, definitely. Play your strengths. Play to your strengths. And for file sellers or for anyone, it's very tough, right? That there's that fine line where we don't know sometimes where inspiration versus what people might see as copying.
Right.
I know. I mean, we see it through the groups all the time. Oh, that's there's inspiration. You're gonna get inspired by everything you see. We come across so much. It's not like you can just. I'm gonna forget I ever saw that.
Right. And so much of it is on Pinterest. Like I'll see something and be like, I looked at that exact same thing on Pinterest.
Well, I'll tell you what we're working on right now is we're working on some more dice towers and some things for tabletop gaming. And there's only so many ways that you can make a container for dice before it looks like somebody else's.
Right.
There's just not that many because the dice are a certain shape. You have a certain number of them.
Right. There's always, and there are always little circles on the dice. It's not like,
I mean, so to some degree, so back to the original question is it challenging to think about copying other people? Of course, it's always a challenge.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Always.
But we try our best to do our own version. I have had, I can't remember what it is right now, but I've had one design I know for sure that I had in my store and then later realized it was super close to somebody else's that I was not consciously aware of. I don't know if that played into my design or not, but I ended up just choosing to remove it from my store out of respect for the other person, even though I can tell you completely, I did not copy them.
Right.
But did my brain retain it when I saw it? Maybe. I'm not sure. So just the thing is, do the right thing whenever you are able, right? Just do the right thing as it comes up. Hey, Julie, talk to us a little bit more because I don't want to lose too much time here to not be able to talk about the conference. In general, what are you excited about? I know you're excited about a lot of things.
Yeah, so when we did some live teaching at the beginning of the month, not the month, but the beginning of the year, it was my first time ever teaching live painting other than Facebook Live. And so it was just, I love people. I love chatting with people. And so it was like the best of both worlds, going around teaching people that you can paint. I promise you, it's not as hard as you think. I give you my little tips and tricks for adding detail without having to know shading and all that kind of stuff. And then just talking and helping it was super fun. And so when you guys even hinted that you might want me to be there, I'm like, I will be
Oh,
there.
good. I mean,
Tell
we
me.
got some great feedback. I have a pretty close relationship with ones who took your class live, and they had nothing but great things to say. It was like the
Mhm.
highlight of their weekend. I learned so much. I had fun, which is what we all want to do, right? We want to learn,
Right.
but we want to have fun while we're learning. So
Right.
I
And
think
the
that's
and the
a
the
great
great
balance.
thing about it is you don't have to bring anything. You don't have to pack paints with you. You don't need to bring paint brushes or makeup sponges or bubble wrap or whatever we decide to paint. It
Yep.
will all be for you. So you just need to come
Yep.
ready to learn and ready to
Yep.
have fun.
It's going to be great. Let me read this question from Brandy. It's a little long, so I won't put it on the screen. But she says, "I use Inkscape to design, and I'm comfortable with it in the software. Although I hear many people advise against it or don't like it. Would that deter people from buying files designed in Inkscape as opposed to AI or Procreate? Learning a new software isn't ideal." I'll let me give you the short version. Nobody knows what you designed in unless you talk about it. Okay, so use anything you want. It doesn't matter. Just make sure that when the final item is a good solid design, that's a good solid vector that anybody can open in any program, and you'll be in good shape. Julie, what are your thoughts there?
My thought is I only use Inkscape.
Yeah, see?
It was free. I didn't want to commit to buying a fancy dancy software.
Yep.
And now I know I probably can do it faster in other programs, but I know
Maybe.
I'm too comfortable with it. So
No. Yeah.
don't know what program. It doesn't matter what program you're in. An SVG is an SVG unless it goes to CorelDRAW. Then you have to do an EPS, but that's a whole different story.
Yeah. And uncheck responsive. But yes, right.
Yeah.
In fact, I would, just as a joke, but somewhat, it'd be fun to just throw up like some of your designs and my designs and somebody else's, but and say, what
Which
program did they use?
Yeah, exactly.
Can't tell.
Yeah. And
No.
I'm even more old school. I don't even have the latest version of Inkscape. I like the one that I downloaded back in 2020. And I'm like, when I got a new computer, we put on a new one. And I told my husband, I'm like, put that one back. I don't like this one. So,
Funny.
yeah. So Inkscape's great. Inkscape is great.
Yep. Will, you want to catch Brandy's next question there?
Yeah, I see one. It says, what file extensions are most important to include when you're selling your files? Which, like SVG?
Yeah, I do SVG, PDF, EPS for those CorelDRAW users, and then DXF because some lasers, and I'm not sure which one it is, but some people in my subscription group, they have to have a DXF extension for
Yeah.
lasers. I don't know if it's Muse. I can't remember Spectrum. I don't
Yeah.
remember which one it is, but those are the four. I know that you can do JPEG, AI. Obviously, I don't do AI because I don't have AI,
Right.
but
And by the way, Glowforge can use a DXF. A lot of people don't know that, but it can. It can
okay.
take a, yeah. So that's also good too if you want to.
Yeah.
I do something similar to you. I do AI because I found that the people, a lot of people who need something that's not an SVG, a lot of times they can use an AI. Not all the time, but I use AI, SVG, and PDF myself. And then I recently started doing DXFs as well. So I do those four. Um, Great. You want to read Carol's as well? I'll throw it on the screen there.
Yeah. I love using Silhouette. I can save as a PDF and SVG. Could I sell files with those? Will it be a good, clean file?
It
We'll let Julie do it.
depends
Yeah.
on your nodes. I mean, you can have a good clean file in any software.
Yeah.
Like I said, I try to get rid of as many nodes as possible because those little ghost circles and ghost lines that pop up in Glowforge, a lot of times, and I've found this through trial and error, is sometimes there are two nodes that are so close together that it kind of makes the laser kind of have like a freak out moment, and then it just loops around and comes back to where it was and keeps going. And so, I mean, that's not always the case, but whenever I've had weird little circles show up that aren't in the design, it's 9 times out of 10 two nodes that are so close together. And so it just depends. Like, click on the nodes, look, see how many nodes there are. If you have a million nodes, then chances are you'll have kind of like a bumpy cut versus a nice, clean, smooth cut. And it also will take less time for the laser to read.
Yep. And just to dial into her question as well, it doesn't matter what program you use. Silhouette is great. You can
Oh yeah,
absolutely use that.
yeah.
PDF and SVG, you can definitely sell with those. I would definitely start with both of those and then expand to other formats if you're able, when you're able, because you will get a lot. Like just today, I got 2 requests for DXFs.
Yeah.
And I was able to do it, but that I don't get that all that often. But it is good to be able to when you can.
Right.
Hey, Julie. So I know a lot of times when we have some people who sell a lot of files, we always ask, "What's your favorite file?" But we're not going to ask you that one. What are your, if you had to pick 3 paint colors that you could only use for the rest of your life, which 3 paint colors are you picking?
Okay, obviously white and black, because that can just change dark green to light green to medium green.
Because they're cow colors, stop it.
Yeah,
Oh,
farmhouse.
okay, I guess you're right. And then probably, I don't know, 3? That is just a sad world you're living in, Will.
That's 3 more than I use.
Okay, so black, white, and probably green, because green's my favorite color.
Yeah.
So who am I if I don't pick green?
Well done. I thought you were going to say, I can mix a bunch of colors together and make something blackish.
Oh, wait. Can I redo?
Nope. Sorry. Eternity. That's it. No, go
red,
ahead.
yellow, and blue. Primary colors. There you go.
RGB, right?
Yeah.
There it is. That's great. John asks this question. Let me throw it up there for you. Any additional work required for DXF or EPS?
Not on my part. It just is a drop-down menu as how I want to, what extension I want to save it under.
Yep.
And so it's just like now I've done it enough that it's like routine. I just, once the file's clean, SVG, boom, PDF, boom.
Right.
But in the beginning, I would forget all the time and be like, oops. And somebody would reach out and be like, oh, this wasn't available in DXF. It's like, oops, yep, you're right. I forgot.
Right.
So, and some of my older files aren't. So if you get something and it doesn't have DXF, I'm more than happy to change the extension. It's just I had 3 files to go back and rechange on the off chance that somebody needed it. So I'm more than happy to fix that if needed, but
absolutely.
I don't have the time to go back and do that all.
Well, we're excited to have you at the conference. So if you guys didn't catch it, the main thing that she's going to be teaching is painting techniques. And I promise you that you will walk away from there realizing that painting is not as hard as you think. It isn't.
It's not.
And I know that's true. It's not as hard as you think. And I guarantee all the experts that we have there, they're going to give you a couple tools, just an idea here, an idea there, and it's going to change everything for you. It really is. And she's one of those experts that's going to help us. It's going to be great.
I'm excited.
Once again, you don't have to bring any paint with you. We are going to have that covered for you. So if you take her class, all the materials are going to be there for you. You just need to bring yourself, and don't forget yourself.
Right.
Bring yourself. And if you have a computer, I don't know that it's going to happen so much in her class, but bring your computer, bring your device that you normally use so you can take notes, that kind of thing too. That'll be helpful just for the conference in general, for sure.
Right. Yeah, you're not going to need one for mine. It's all hands-on.
We're not going to paint on the screen? No.
Well, I mean, if you really want to decorate your laptop, who am I? But I don't know how well acrylic paint's going to stick to the surface.
That's great. So Robin's Sacramento. What do you call a person from Sacramento?
Hot. Lately. Sacramentian, I guess.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
Sacramentian. Yeah.
That's great. That's awesome. Any other questions that anybody out there have for Julie? Please drop them in the chat. We'll hang about another 2 or 3 minutes here, and then we'll let you guys get back to your world. But I hope you're enjoying these weeks that we're getting a chance to get to know the instructors a little better. It's going to be great. Oh, of course, in just what do you think? 2 minutes here, we'll spin the wheel.
We're going to be giving away a ticket.
We're going to be giving away a ticket, and the only people that are eligible are people that have already bought a ticket. So somebody's going to get their money refunded. Last week, it was Robert Borman, and this week, we don't know who it is yet. But I'll tell you what, we'll give you about another 60 seconds, and then we're going to spin the wheel and see who wins a free ticket.
Yeah, so if you don't have tickets, you missed this one. But for the next ones, the sooner you get your tickets, the more drawings you're going to be in.
Right, because every week you're going to get a chance to be in it, right?
So up until
Oh, awesome. So you don't have to buy it that week. It's just
No.
ongoing.
Nope.
Yeah.
If you buy yours tomorrow, for example, you're going to be in every drawing until the conference.
or until you win.
Or I'm sorry, until you win. Then you'll be out. Like Robert, you're out.
You're out. You can't win
But
again.
Christy's still in.
Harsh, man.
Yeah.
You really do drive a hard bargain, Will.
Terry, no, you do not have to be watching the live. We will
No,
draw the name and we will share it within the groups.
absolutely. Yep.
So-
You do not have to. You can be late to it. You can be early. Whatever. Yep. All right. What do you think, Will? You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Let's see. Let's do this here. All right. And we're going to let Will spin the wheel and see what happens.
All right, let me get to my wheel. Sorry.
Come on,
All right.
Vanna.
You guys see my
Right.
screen? Here we
Yep.
go.
This is so exciting. Oh.
Oh,
Bill, congratulations. I don't know if you're with us tonight, Bill, or not, but congratulations. Me or Will are going to reach out to you and get your money back to you, and we're looking forward to seeing you at the conference.
yeah.
All right, so we've given away 2 tickets so far. We've got quite a few more in the next few weeks to give away. So make sure you get your ticket, and you'll be in that drawing.
Rachel says she's going to show up and stare at everyone through the windows like the Mervyn's commercials.
Open.
Did we just all show our age? That's so fantastic.
We did.
I was going to ask, what's Mervyn's? I'm just kidding.
Oh.
Just kidding.
All right, we'll take one last question here. This is a good one. I don't know if you're going to cover that at all. Can I speak for you a little bit and say I'm sure you'll be available to ask questions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I think
I
Mike
will be too. All of us will.
you'll be in good hands with Mike because he's going to be doing Inkscape, right?
Yes.
We have all the, Inkscape, Illustrator, and Silhouette, and Procreate.
And Procreate, yeah.
So we'll have all of those classes available from other instructors. So whichever you're comfortable with, whichever you're using now, or maybe you want to go in and learn a new one or decide, hey, I'm going to take all of them and see which one best suits me. Right. You'll have that ability there. So all of the major design programs will be covered there.
Yes, absolutely. So it'll be great. And of course, there'll be the classes, but you're always welcome to grab us between classes or afterwards. And we'll help as much as we possibly can. I promise. We all will. Everybody. We've got, honestly, Will and I feel like we've got the all-star team. This is incredible. We're just glad that we got there first, so we're allowed to be there. Yeah.
I don't have to pay for a ticket, which is great.
Yeah. I still have to fly there. So there's that.
Yeah. I think
but then you'll have home court advantage in Tulsa. So.
That's true. So what comes around goes around. That's right.
Yeah. Some of the things that you think about, we forget, or we don't think of is, yes, you'll get classes, you'll get the education part of that, but being around like-minded people,
the friendships, the networking,
the relationships you build, you're just going to come out of there feeling energized, right? Knowing that, look at all these people who have the same vision or taught me something new, or I'm picking someone else's brain.
Right.
We had a small little get together at my warehouse over the weekend with some local people, and there's like 15 of us there. And it was just amazing just to be around other laser owners, seeing their journey where they are. It was amazing. That feeling can't be replicated.
Right.
I can watch a YouTube video. I can pick and choose here, but having all of that content curated in one place, but also being surrounded by all of these amazing creators and people is something that you're not going to get anywhere else, right? Nope. So I strongly suggest, if you can, come out, hang out, meet us, talk with us, pick our brains. We're going to pick your brains. I learn from everyone I come across, and we're excited to meet everybody.
It's going to be great. I see a good question here right before we get out of here. When do you think you'll have a schedule of classes? Here's what the deal is with that. We have all the class names and the topics and the instructors now. And we've shared that quite a few times. We'll share it again. But as far as like what class is on what day and what time, we're going to wait pretty late for that because, as you can probably imagine, we have several rooms that all the classes will be in, and the rooms are different sizes. And we want to make sure that we have the right room classes in the right rooms in the right order. And so it's kind of important to us that we wait until later in the summer to put those dominoes in specific places, right? Because we want to make sure we have the right ones in the right places.
So you at least you'll know the instructors, you'll
Yep.
know what they'll be teaching, and you'll know the topics that we'll be covering.
Yes.
The logistic part of, like Mark said, when and where and what times will be available and signups, we will definitely get that out there
Yep.
as soon as we get a little bit closer. But as far as the general knowledge of what's covered on the graphics in the group, and take a look at that.
And
So,
one more thing, we are going to send out, we don't have a date yet, but we will send out a questionnaire for everybody who's purchased a ticket. And we're going to ask you which classes you're interested in and in what order. That'll help us, just like college or, whatever, when you're picking your classes, it'll help us figure out how to arrange those a little better. So hopefully that helps to answer your question. All right, cool. Any last words, anybody? Y'all good?
Well, I want to invite anybody who wants to come and see like any paint tutorials, because I've got them on my business page, which is Julie Did It Studios. What is it? Facebook.com/ Julie Did It Studios, or my Facebook group, which is Julie Did It Studios, a laser maker community. And I have my tutorials there. So if you're ready to get started with painting, or you can't make it live, but live is always more fun. You always get more from hands-on learning. But in the meantime, we do have a lot of paint tutorials over on both my business page as well as my community group.
And you'll get a chance to connect with her a lot this summer, and then you'll get a chance to connect with her in person, which is priceless. It's going to be great. Julie, thank you so much. We appreciate you. And by the way, everybody, we met Julie in person a few months ago at a conference.
Yeah.
So this is one of the many cool things that happens when you get a chance to hang out together.
Yes.
It's going to be great, everybody. Go check out more information. We also have a Facebook group for the conference, and you're welcome to come into the group whether you have a ticket or not. We hope that you are able to get one, but you can get in the group regardless. So just request to be in the group, and we'll let you in. And we'll use that as one of the places that we communicate the most in, because it's easiest to connect with everybody there. Will, any last words, my friend?
No, come on out, invest in yourself.
Yes.
Right. We invest a lot of time and money and equipment and all that. Sometimes we forget we need to invest in what's most important, and that's ourselves. So,
right. Kind of like a mini college course, right? And this is kind of what it is.
Yeah. The information will be invaluable. Check out the website. If you have any questions, reach out to any of us. We're going to have a blast. I'm excited. So,
absolutely. Guys, everybody, thank you for coming so much. If you came in late, you can watch this on demand anytime. Share it with a friend. Watch it later. We would love to have you guys ask any questions that you might have, and we'll do our best to keep up. Everybody have a great night. Thank you, Will. Thank you, Julie. We will talk to you guys later.
Have a great night.
Bye-bye.